Well, now let me ask you this, Andrew. We deal a great deal actually with PLM.
Hmm.
And given your current role as Vice President of Software and Services at XD Innovation,
Hmm.
can you shed light on how PLM is revolutionizing the manufacturing industry?
I think, yeah, I'm a bit of a even though I've got an SAP background, where
Yeah.
acronyms are king. I try to avoid the term PLM because it's now become associated with PLM as an enterprise application,
Yeah.
period.
Hmm.
For me, it's about the product life cycle. So I think of it of everything from ideation through engineering, through simulation, manufacturing and maintenance and recycling, etc. So the new world of innovation, we've moved on so much over here into not just cost cutting as a way to show performance to our, you know, NYSE. We've had to innovate a lot more. Customer centricity, personalization, product centricity. Um, my role as VP of Software and Services at XD Innovation, I have a front row seat to witness how the product lifecycle is orchestrating a significant revolution in the manufacturing industry. PLM, I'll use it, essentially is the linchpin of innovation. It's not merely a management tool or a data tool. It's a strategic force that's driving the entire life cycle of a product from concept to production. PLM is acting as the meticulous conductor, ensuring seamless coordination and collaboration among a whole diverse group of stakeholders.
Follow up to that, you speak of the revolution, right? I mean, we've touched on that a couple of times so far in our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, typically revolution implies change.
Mm-hmm.
What is the significance of digital manufacturing and execution in the current market scenario? And how can manufacturers stay ahead of the curve? I mean, often you see, there's a significant organizational change effort, time, money, and effort, and next thing you know, you're falling behind the curve, right? Because of the evolution of technology and the benefits of technology.
Yep.
So what is the significance of digital manufacturing execution in the current market scenario, and how can manufacturers stay ahead of that curve?
Yeah, I think it's if I was talking about what are the most significant game changers in manufacturing today, digital manufacturing would be number two. It's right up there. You can ask me number one in a second, but in the current market landscape, digital manufacturing execution emerges as a strategic force, akin, if you like, to a dynamic kind of duo once again, reshaping the manufacturing narrative. The concept of try before you buy, encapsulated by the digital twin paradigm, serves as a pivotal kind of innovation point. It allows enterprises to simulate and validate their processes digitally, which is a wholly prudent step before committing to a full scale execution, which, as we know, is extremely expensive. The real time adaptability facilitated by data and intelligence integration stands as another cornerstone in this whole digital manufacturing piece. However, beyond kind of the technology facet side of the thing, the crux lies in a visionary approach. Manufacturers these days need to delineate a clear destination and reverse engineer their pathway. And one of the best ways of doing that is through digital manufacturing. In essence, digital manufacturing and execution is a formidable ally in the pursuit of market dominance. It really can allow you to get ahead at a lower cost. It encapsulates a methodology of testing, adaptation, and continuous improvement through and through.
So,
Well, you want to know what number one is for
yeah,
me?
sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number one is artificial intelligence. I mean, that
Yeah.
is just going
Go.
to disrupt the landscape dramatically. And I
Yeah.
frequently talk about, in fact, I put something out the other day. When you get in your vehicle these days and you say, Siri, take me XYZ, we go on our manufacturing floor and we don't have that ability. We have a manual process to adjust our lines. Imagine as we go forward now that artificial intelligence reads inventory, reads customer orders, and adapts the lines automatically. I mean, super exciting. That's really going
Yeah.
to start changing things.
Yeah, totally agreed, Andrew. And I think it's just a fascinating topic, right? I think there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of excitement around AI. And, specifically, we're doing a lot of answering questions actually, and a lot of research and some predictions in the space of ERP in terms of how AI can change that. Because, as you'd
Mm,
mentioned earlier, this idea of PPT, right? People, processes, and technology.
yep.
And obviously that's a real thing. It's as we've discussed on previous podcasts, it's a bit of a cliche, but it's real. I mean, this idea of the relationship between people slash leadership slash culture and processes and technology is super critical. And the more that you can find the balance on how those interplay in any given
Yep.
context, makes a great deal of difference. And so in a successful transformation. And one of my fascinating topics is, okay, technology comes along with such as AI.
Mm,
How will that AI variable of that formula, the technology category, impact perhaps weaknesses in the people or processes part of that equation? So,
mm, mm,
it is a fascinating topic, and it's exciting and maybe a little bit anxiety inducing at the same time to see what happens there.
for sure.
Um, but
Yep.
Andrew, so you emphasized the integration of PPT, or
Hmm.
again, people, processes, and technology. Can you share maybe a bit of a case study? Can you share a success story where this integration led
Mm,
to significant improvements?
yep. Yep. Yeah, this is one close to my heart as we continue on with it. It's a bit of a roller coaster of a success story that involved a manufacturer that was grappling with a major shift. They'd been hit in the markets. They'd been reported that their quality was significantly below. It was all over the press, and they decided that they wanted to change their manufacturing execution and manufacturing operations systems. Biggest change ever for any organization is to switch out mess mom. So I think you have to be sensitive to that. So what they'd done at a local level is they'd crafted their own in-house MES, manufacturing execution system. And they were all very happy and we're about to start on the implementation journey. And then boom, head office comes along, drops the bomb, and they said, nope, we're going to go with a global MES mom solution. Cue the collective sighs and resistance from the manufacturing engineers. I spoke to them a few days later, and you could feel the tension in the air. It was like, you better have something good for us because we've just spent a year designing what was perfect for us. So I walked into that scenario. It was like stepping into the hornet's nest, so to speak. The engineers were attached to their baby, their in-house MES. The
Yeah.
idea of change was as popular as a root canal. The prime consultants were there, but it seemed like they were speaking a different language.
Yeah.
They didn't quite get the manufacturing nuances. Unfortunately, this consulting group and their initial design was kind of like a puzzle missing half of its pieces. So, how did we turn that ship around? So, first off, we had to kind of be bilingual. We had to speak both engineer and consultant languages fluently. We had to understand their business processes intimately. And thankfully, the people who came from our side understood that business extremely well. We did a deep dive into their world. We listened to the engineers' concerns, frustrations, their hopes, and we needed to assure them that this new system wasn't the enemy, but it was a strategic ally, immediate term as well as long term. The immediate term is, can I do my job? The long term is, can my organization benefit from this as well? Bottom line. So we brought in our heavy artillery, so to speak, the experienced process and solution architects who knew the ins and outs of both manufacturing process and the proposed solution. That was crucial because, again, it was empathy. It was people sitting down with people and understanding what they did. And that was a breath of fresh air to them, that somebody was talking their language. It wasn't just about aligning technology, it was truly about marrying it seamlessly with their established processes. So, kind of our superhero, if you will, was communication. We kept everybody in the loop, from the engineers to the higher ups. We ensured that the integration wasn't just a tech overhaul, but it was a cultural shift. It wasn't easy. It was slow going. The resistance did wane, however, as they saw the benefits, as we started to produce functionality, release it in sprints, so to speak. So they go, oh, actually, this is good. We're enjoying this. This actually is a step forward, a new user interface, all these kind of good things. They really appreciate it. So I guess the lessons learned, cut a long story short, integration isn't just about plugging in technology. It's about intertwining people, processes, and technology. You got to know their language, understand their landscape, and bridge those gaps. And that's how, to us, you ensure not just a fit, but the best fit, making sure that the integration is a success story. And I guess the last thing is, when you're bringing somebody in, you expect them to be experts. Showing them a few references and case studies doesn't matter. To me, it's about bringing the A team. So don't tell me who did it 20 years ago. Tell me who you've got today who can do the job for me today. So bring the A team. There you go.
Yeah, great story. And I like how you said the key is not marrying technology, but aligning it with organizational process. I may have paraphrased a little bit there, but what a great point.